Hello everyone, I'm Erica Theresa. My condition is good. My purpose of joining Zoom class is to learn about human resource management, especially about today's topic, namely theories of motivation and their application in organizations, a risk analysis. What I know about the theory of motivation is it is the study of understanding what drives a person to work towards a particular goal or outcome. It has eight theories. They are Maslow hierarchy of needs, Hesbert's two-factor theories or motivator hygiene, MC Dreiger X and Y theories, MC Salient's need achievement theories, the equity theory, value percept theory, V. Rome's expectancy theory, and Potter lower model. These theories can be used to motivate employees, which can benefit the company. That is because a motivated employee is more productive, and a more productive employee is more profitable. According to first expert, Locke, motivation is a pleasurable or positive emotional state resulting from the appraisal of one's job experiences. This definition draws attention to two aspects in particular, namely the emotional attachment an employee has to their job and the deliberate review of an employee's work by the employer. Next is according to the second and third expert, David and Enzert's motivation can be understood as cognitive decision making, in which the intention is to make the behavior that is aimed at achieving a certain goal through attention and monitoring. Identified motivation is an encouragement that can come from inside ourselves and or from outside to trigger someone to do something. For instance, in every employee, motivation may be because outside factors or extrinsic, such as rewards, bonus, promotion, or within an individual or intrinsic, which is desire to do better. I found the topic of today's discussion from my lecturer, who sent me theories of motivation and their application in organizations, a risk analysis, Ruben and Badubi PDF to our group. It means a lot for me because we have the same material for the discussion. This topic tell me about some theories about motivation. The person who wrote this research is Ruben M. Badubi, as what I said before. He does this research because he wants to compare the contrast the theories of motivation and how they are used to inspire employees to develop the drive to achieve. The researchers tells me the importance of motivation in organizations and job satisfaction, which play a vital role for the achievement of organizational goals and objectives in his research. Moreover, he tells the consequences of organizations operating without any purpose of motivation towards its employees. They are far catastrophic, such as depression, turnover, burnout, which can derail the success of organizations. Motivation also can make employees, their biggest assets, more enthusiastic in doing their job until retained. That's why motivation should be a priority for organizations. The aim of the study conducted by Ruben and Badubi is to compare and contrast the theories of motivation and how they are used to inspire employees to develop the drive to achieve. The benefit of this study for organization is help organizations with suggestions to cultivate conducive atmospheres and relationships for employees to work under to foster positive attitudes towards their work. In introduction, In his study, Ruben M. Badubi explains about the key role of motivation in all enterprises, which is driving employees towards achieving their goals, organizational goals, and to a certain extent, the dreams of their nations. He explains theories of motivation and their relation to influence toward the outcomes of employee job satisfaction. Besides, the introduction explains three main theory categories, namely constant theories, process theories, and contemporary theories, as well as including to what these theories in general. How motivation comes about and how it leads to satisfaction is explained by process theories. Theories that fall into this category include Potter's Lowell's model and expectancy theory by Verum. The theories of motivation may be categorized according to their definition and purpose, but critical analysis revealed that they are all linked and they lead to serving satisfaction in employees. Rewards as the main factors of motivation can also encourage retention within the organization, and broader employment relationship and social agents are significant. Motivation's whole idea is to provide employees with certainty of job security, nice working condition, loyalty, belonging to the enterprise, as well as the workforce given some challenges. Motivation, according to Loki, is a pleasurable or positive emotional state resulting from the pressure of one's job experiences. This definition draws attention to two aspects in particular, namely the emotional attachment an employee has to their job and the deliberate review of employees' work by the employer. Next, motivation according to David and Andres is cognitive decision making in which the intention is to make the behavior that is aimed at achieving a certain goal through imitation and monitoring. For us to help understand underpinning to motivation, we must first explore what job satisfaction means because motivated employees will have a job satisfaction. And then next is according to Kumar and Singh, job satisfaction or the lack thereof depends on the employee's perceptions of the degree to which his work delivers those things that he desires. How well outcomes are met or expectation perhaps even exceeded. Regardless of the actual circumstances and situation, job satisfaction is an emotional response that cannot be seen, only inferred. After that, according to Jehanjeb, Ashid, Rehanjit, and Amir, job satisfaction is a sensation employees have about their work environment and their expectation toward work. Depending on the rewards and incentive employees receive and management's motive for giving them, employees will respond to their work environment by being productive. The theory of motivation, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is motivation work in line with job satisfaction, revolve around employees' needs, and the factors that bring them a reasonable degree of satisfaction. It is in accordance with five stages of theory that places the needs of the individual in different categories and priorities their attainment. They are physical, biological, social, and psychological needs of human beings. The way Smith and Carnze find the theory of motivation, according to Maslow, is by relying on the fact that people want to increase what they want to achieve in life, and their needs are prioritized according to their importance. The way I apply the theory of motivation according to Maslow in an organization is by looking for a job which can fulfill my 5 stages theory I need. It can from the salary to fulfill the basic needs for food, shelter, and clothing, safety from physical harm and social interaction. I also need the recognition and appreciation of parents. Next is Hedgeberg's two-factor theory, also as known as motivator hygiene, emanated from a study conducted among accountants and engineers to determine what makes an individual feel good or feel bad about their job. Regarding satisfactors, Hedgeberg noted that there were 5 factors of work that bring about satisfaction, namely achievement, recognition, the job itself, responsibility, and advancement. I can get a new insight about what makes people motivated based on two-factor theory. I also can apply this in my daily life too. For example, if I can get A in HRM class, it will be an achievement for me since I try to be as active as I can and do the assignment well. Next is MC George's theory X and Y models categorize employees as belongings to one of two groups based on two sets of assumptions. Theory X assumption take a negative perspective of people. People can have an inherent dislike for work and avoid it if possible. Because of this, they must be coerced, controlled, directed, and treated with punishment to make them work. They prefer to be directed, avoid responsibility, have little ambition, and want security. On the other hand, theory Y assumption take the opposite view. The mental and physical inputs expended at the workplace are equated and par with those rest or play. External factors from any threats from outside may not be the sole influence for exerting efforts. Workers or people can exercise caution and discipline to have objectives achieved, but the hunger in their desire to commit to objectives is dependent on how big are the rewards as assigned to that kind of achievement. Under normal circumstances, people can adapt to seek responsibility and not only accept it. The application of MG Drager's X theories is like what I do right now. Actually, I don't really good at talking in front of camera like this and want to avoid it if it is possible. But this class is obligate us to make video recording, otherwise we will have a bad grades. And because I want to have as good as possible grade, yeah, here I am. And then next is MC Celan's need achievement theory postulates that some people are driven to success through seeking personal achievement rather than rewards themselves. This theory is really readily applicable to academic environments and explains why some teachers are high achievers despite the difficulties they face. They set themselves high goals and achieving these goals is what drives them. Alderfer's ERG theory is related to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but reduces Maslow's 5 categories of a need to 3, namely relatedness being, growth being, and then existence, which is security or psychological need. How do I apply this theory in organization? Is when I want to get as many achievement as possible. such as surpass the target of selling a certain product, with the desire is to get the chance of promotion rather than the bonus that I may get. Next is the drive- next is the drive Next is the differences among the theory of motivation according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Hertzberg's two factors theory or motivator hygiene and Mursalin's need achievement theory is the factors that encourage someone to reach something. The explanation is like what I have explained before. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people are motivated because they want to fulfill five stages of Maslow's hierarchy needs, while Herzberg's two-factor theory or motivator hygiene is because they have to do it or get forced, and vice versa. In contrast, MC Saland's need achievement theory is about people who set themselves high goals and achieving these goals is what drives them. Process theories explain how satisfaction comes from. Process theories explain how satisfaction comes about as opposite to what causes motivation. Equity theory is a theory of motivation that suggests the employee motivation at work is driven largely by their sense of fairness. Employees create a mental ledgers of the inputs and outcomes of their job, and then use this ledger to compare the ratio of their inputs and outputs to others. The example is when individuals say things like, he earns more than I do but doesn't do nearly as much work, or I get paid a lot less than Andy but this place would fall with apart without me. The video theory tells me that it postulates employees will weigh their input into a job against the output they achieve from it. The more rewards, the greater their satisfaction. After that, we have individual values determine their satisfaction on their job because employees in organizations should different value systems. Therefore, based on this theory, their satisfaction level will also differ. It tells me that we have to look at value percept theory with the assumption is that the differences between expectation and what is achieved can bring dissatisfaction depending on how important the job is to the individual. Theorem expectancy theory stipulates that behavior is a product or of choices that are available the for to be prioritized. The idea is to derive the the idea is to derive satisfaction and minimize dissatisfaction in employees. It tells me that individual factors such as personality and skills determine performance. This theory also explains me that performance, motivation, and work area within an individual's motivation and variables such as valence, instrumentality, and expectancy verifies this. The higher the effort in work related to the higher the performance. This is a comprehensive and more complete theory of motivation, which is inclusive to these first aspects. These models can give details of the fiber relation that exists between job performance and attitudes, which perfectly different managers. The model also touches on the assumptions of human behavior. This model tells me that the deductions of the model assume that individual behavior is influenced by both internal and external factors, rational and make own choices about their behavior, have different goals, desired and needs. Finally, individual decide between alternative behaviors. Next, I'll mention the risk suffered by organization from demotivated employee in organizations. The first one is operational risk. It can be in the form of absenteeism. absenteeism, absenteeism as the failure of workers to report on job when they are scheduled to work. Next is poor quality work in terms of quality outputs and results. Next is about toxic work environment. Cordial and mutual relationship among employees will be disrupted. Employees' behavior and attitudes will be affected since their morale is down. The second one is personal risk. It is the desire of organizations to keep their staff for longer periods over time. As we know, organizations spend a lot of money and time in training their employees. So, high staff turnover due to unhappy employee will cause the organization of all the spent resources. Moreover, this will result in disruption of organization's operations as replacement of staff will be needed as well as more cost of another training for new employees. The third one is is reputation reputation reputational risk dissatisfaction. The morale of the entire office can be brought down when one employee lacks motivation. Employees who are not satisfied with their job might resort to quitting. Therefore, this scenario should be avoided. The fourth one is environmental risk. Employees who are not happy with the organization will manifest their dissatisfaction to the outside world. Consumers are bound to experience unwelcoming acts of aggression and bitterness emanating from unhappy employees. The importance of motivation in the workplace, according to Perry and Hodgson, is to make the individual's desire to perform and provide services to consumers with the mandate to do good. It is because the performance at work is related to the employee's payoff as external factors such as reward, promotion at work, security of a job, salary increasement that may give meaning to employees' motivation. Therefore, for organizations to continue existing and retaining its workforce, they must keep on working on strategies that can help in motivating its employees. According to Yang, motivation have effect on employees as individuals to achieve and as well as ability to be innovative because they believe in themselves which will benefit the organization to be success. According to me, motivation in the workplace is important to trigger the employee until they have a desire to work productively. The more productive employees can increase the overall company performance. More than that, it can make the employee feel comfortable until retain the employee. It saves the organization finance of replacing workers as well as encourage workers to always achieve more on daily productions as they are having a sense of security in their work. The conclusion of the study conducted by Ruben and Badubi is motivation is needed for employees in an organization to be productive, and management or leadership style has an important role to play. Motivation is not always based on financial rewards, but can based on non-financial rewards too. Besides, a leader has responsibility to develop and align with theories that are suitable to bring job satisfaction to their employees, regardless the expectations of workers. It can be done by mixing theories, but suggestions and wishes from employees that can motivate them should also be considered in the term of empowering workforce. For example, rewards and promotions. Furthermore, Our employees should understand the company's vision and goals, and work together towards those. Then organization will try to motivate their employees to reach their goals. Last part is about watching 4 videos. In the first video, the speaker explains about motivation theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He explains from three, he explains from three, he explains from three classic theories of motivation, a background of Abraham Maslow, Maslow's hierarchy needs in general, the relationship between hierarchy needs and motivation at work, the criticism until the sixth level of hierarchy. The benefit is I can get an overview here of Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs, which is a popular model of factors that determine motivation at work. The second video explains about theories of motivation. Maslow, Hertzberg, MC Treasure. This video includes important theories of motivation like Maslow's needs hierarchy of theory, Hertzberg two-factor theory, MC Treasure's X and Y theory. The speaker is Easy MBA. The benefit that I can get from this video is having a knowledge about sufficient matter, which will help me in understanding the concept and different theories of motivation. In the third video, the speaker explains about the expectancy theory of motivation by Fromm. Victor Fromm's expectancy theory of motivation is about a set of human psychology that considers the type of rewards provided as impetus of work harder and excel at tasks. It also explains the importance of concepts in it that are expectancy theory formula, the way to implement it in organization and our personal life, until the advantages and disadvantages. The speaker is Mr. Simplify. The benefit I can get from this video is broaden my perspective about several factors of employees' performance, which are personality, skills, knowledge, experience, and ability. Moreover, it makes me know the importance of for human beings to understand how our efforts are going to convert into rewards and how valuable the rewards are to us. Last but not least, the speaker is Mr. Simplify. He explains Hertzberg's two-factor theory of motivation in the simplified explanation ever. Hertzberg's two-factor theory is a motivational theory used in business to understand the driving factors to employee motivation and retention. To this day, it is a relevant theory in terms of understanding monetary means of ensuring employee satisfaction and motivation. The benefit of watching this video is get a new insight about Hertzberg's two-factor theory from the definition in the simplest explanation. Okay, that's all from me, Erica Theresa. I hope you can get something from this video and enjoy this video. Thank you.